Hello and welcome to Space Station. Now, Space Station is a role-playing game, and it's not like an RPG. It's more a role-playing game where you can only do and say what you'd think the person in the game would do and say. So you can't just go around and use NetSpeak, use smileys. You can't say, well, you can't really do much. You can only do things that would happen in the game. And it's like if you were an engineer, you wouldn't know much about botany, so you couldn't talk about how to do botany. So it's really strict role playing. So, to the point. When you first open the game, this is what you'll see. Set up character, join game, and observe. So you want to click set up character first of all. And you want to make your character. This is my character, I'll make a new one. So here's our identity. You can pick a random name, and you can just keep going until you find the name you want. Or you can always make a random name for every round. Or you could type in your own name. So I'll just use whatever I'll get. Troy Perkins, guess I could use that. Your gender and your age, it's up to you. So, a little bit darker. How about that? And your hairstyle, your facial hairstyle, and your eye color. So there's a lot of things you can do. So I know what I'm looking for. You could just experiment around. It's all up to you. But this is what I usually do. And there's skin tone. I've already done that. And that's between 50 and 220. So 1 is really light and 220 is really dark. And I prefer 50. That's tan, somewhere around that. You can change your underwear. White, grey, green, so forth. There's a few different looks. Well, you could also choose none, but you might. I don't know. I don't know why you would want to do that. So let's go with black. You can choose backpack, satchel, or nothing. And I would really not recommend using nothing, because if you don't start with a backpack, you might have trouble finding one. So you could use backpack or satchel. I'll go with satchel because it is not that visible. And game preferences, let's just do this first. So your UI style, that's going to be around down here. If you look at, you'll probably have to follow my mouse. Down here is just going to what an icons look like. Play admin MIDIs, that's the admins might want us to play a song or a sound. So that's up to you. Lobby music, that's a song that's going to come when you start the game. I've turned it off in preferences. Ghost ears, that's who you want to hear when you're dead, a ghost. And ghost sight, I'm not completely sure what it does, but I think it's whose emotes you can see. OOC nodes if you want to enter any information about yourself, such as your roleplay preferences. Here are the antagonist settings. Now, since we're just getting started, turn everything off. I'll just turn on personal AI, because that's not hard at all. But everything else should be turned off until you're experienced with the game. So now you want to press save setup to make sure nothing bad happens. Because if you forget to save, your computer will sense that and it will crash. Always. So now let's go over to the occupation preferences. Here's a ton of jobs you could do, but for the first video, and I recommend your first 2-3 rounds, put assistant on, yes. Everything else will be turned off, and you will be an assistant no matter what. And that's the easiest one. That's why I recommend it. So press done and save setup again. Now, join game. It could, if it's the start of the round, it will say declare ready, and then you'll just get in when the game starts. But I'll press join game this time, because I'm late into the round. I'm going to choose assistant. So, since we are late into the game, we are in the arrivals shuttle. There's a couple of wardrobes in here, some gear you could take. It's usually for the assistants to wear, but I don't know, sometimes people like to use it. So, let's start with the basics. You walk around with the arrow keys, but all the way down to the right, all the way down, you can see hotkey toggle. If you press that, you can use WASD, but you'll have to press it again to be able to type. And so I just prefer to use the arrow keys for some reason. So, to turn around without walking, you press your mouse and he will look in the direction of the mouse. So that's really, I don't know, I guess it's common sense, but just wanted to say that. To interact with something, you press it. Just simply left click it to open and close wardrobes, start an arcade game, open doors, so forth. So with that done, let's start with the inventory management. So these are your pockets. They can store small items. So let's get to that later. These are your pockets that can have small items. As you can see, this hat is a medium, normal sized item, so you can't put it in your pocket. And these two are your hands. And the hand you press is going to be your active hand, or you could press swap up here. And this is your backpack, or your satchel. So if you have an empty hand and you press the satchel, you'll open the satchel. You can press items in the satchel to take them out in your active hand. And you just press the satchel with something in your hand and you'll put it back in. Doesn't matter if it's open or closed. You can also press and drag into your hand and you'll put it on your hand. This is your PDA. It's more of a messenger, flashlight, atmospherics. You can do anything with them. They're really useful. You might want to keep. You don't want to lose it, that's for sure. Here's your ID card. And yeah, you don't want to lose this. It's the most important item in the game, basically. Because if you lose your ID, you can't do anything. You can't open the doors to your workplace, you can't use the machines. There's a lot you can't do without the ID. So never lose that. And if someone wants you to show them your ID, that means you'll have to roleplay it. So you click it to get it in your hand, and then you click it in your hand. And it'll say Troy Perkins or your name shows you, and then the ID card and the assignment of that ID card. So let's put that back. So pockets, hands, the one with the green kind of outline, bluish outline, that's your active hand. So that's the hand you're going to be using. So if I have this in my hand and press my satchel, I'll put it in my satchel. If I take it back out and then I have my empty hand active, I'm just going to open my satchel. So, and here's the inventory, or not inventory, this is your gear, what you're equipping. So right now I have a normal common radio headset, black shoes, and a grey jumpsuit. Oh, and I almost forgot. When you hover your mouse over something, all the way at the bottom left below this text bar, it's going to say what you're having your mouse over. So it's going to be much easier to know what you're actually looking at. So, now that we have this, but we want more. Because, yeah, this doesn't look good at all. So let's say you wanted a top hat. So you open this black wardrobe here, click it to open it. Then you see all this here, and that top hat. You press the top hat, and you get it in your active hand. Since you don't have a helmet right now, or a hat, you just press the E down here, next to swap above your right hand. You press E here, and it'll put it on. Simple as that. And all the way over here, you press the hat, and you'll take it off. So the equipping and unequipping is really easy. So let's equip that. Now take off your jumpsuit here. Now you're going to see that it's going to drop what's on it'll drop your ID, and it'll drop whatever is on your belt, and what's in your pockets for that matter. But do not despair, you can pick them back up when you have a jumpsuit. So let's take the jumpsuit. Actually, you might miss because the top hat is in the way. So if that's the case, right click it, and you'll see the list of everything that is on that block or tile. And you hover your mouse over something here, and it'll open up another menu. And you can examine, pull, you can move it to the top, pick it up, or point to it. So then it'll say points to person, points to object. So we want to pick it up and equip it. So since we took off our uniform earlier, we don't have a uniform. So let's put it back on. So now we have a black jumpsuit. Looks much better. So let's pick up the PDA, put it in your belt slot or your pockets. That's up to you again. And your ID. And you could put it in your pockets, but then you won't be able to open doors you need an ID for. Well, it doesn't matter if you're an assistant, because assistants can't do anything anyway. But we'll put it in here so the security can see that we are a part of the crew. Because the security can see if you're a crew member or not. It'll have a question mark if you're not a crew member, and it'll have an A if you're an assistant, and a cross if you are a medical doctor, and so forth. So now that we're geared up, we're ready to go. So let's start. I'll give you a quick tour of the station. Oh, that's a maintenance tunnel. We don't want to go there just yet. These are the escape pods, a broken wall. Escape pods, pod 1 and pod 2. So if someone says go to the escape pods, this is where you want to go, to these. Now going down here, those are APCs. Those give power to the station. It's red if it's just not charging, it's blue if it's charging, and green if it's fully charged. So this is the Vacant office. I'm not completely sure what it's for, never used it before. Another maintenance access, external ad hoc. This is where the death squad comes if they are called because the station is being destroyed by revolutionaries or anything. That guy is a chemist, probably an antag. No, he just got promoted to security officer, apparently. So this is the security checkpoint in Arrivals. So, but it's just never being used. Security never uses it. So, and here are some vendors. some candy, cola, sodas, hot drinks, and cigarettes. So to use one, you just click it, just like anything else, and it opens up this. Now, here's a vent. If you click that, it'll spawn an item. In this case, cheesy honkers. Now, since it's food, you click it to pick it up. Let's close that. And you press yourself, and you'll eat it. Now, since we're not hungry, we will get fat if we keep eating, so let's not do that. That's a lighter, we'll get into that later. Those are newscasters, and that's a map. You can't use the map, but it's there. A newscaster to get news, print newspapers, so forth. And this is where assistants actually start. We started over there, remember? But that's because we're late. We're late to join us. This is the primary tool storage, where the assistants start. So there are a lot of tools in here, but since we're late, it has already been looted. So there's screwdrivers, cable coil, T-ray scanner, and that's about it. That's all we can use in here right now. Well, except for this toolbox, has a lot of, let's see, screwdriver, wrench, welding tool, crowbar, analyzer, and wire cutters. And this has quite a few tools as well, but there's no tool belt, so we can't really use it for anything. Here's a vendor mat, there's a proximity sensor, igniter, remote signaling device, wire cutters, and I'm not really sure what this is. Let's see. Oh, it allows you to signal things with your PDA. Well, you learn something every day. Water tank and fuel tank. We'll get into that later, probably when we're engineers. So this is the public room. Here are some wardrobes of clothing, so forth, a few vendors, fire alarm, and a light switch. So here are some stools, table. We'll get into that later. How to use them. There's a grey cap, works just like a hat. Just put it in your hand and press equip, and you'll have the cap. But since I prefer the top hat, let's use a top hat. There's an executive suit here. Looks much better than the black jumpsuit, so why not? Why not? Is he speaking to us? Yes, he is. So that's a perfect example of how to speak with people. You press say, and then the message. So, yeah. It's just, but you can only say things I see. So, since he said sup, I said hello. But I can't use NetSpeak, so I'm not sure if sup is allowed, but I'm not going to help it, because I don't want to be a nuisance to the admins. But anyway, these are some air scrubbers, air pumps, so forth. He just drank a coffee. Air scrubbers, air pumps, that is if we get some atmospheric problems. So like toxins, NO2, N2O, I'm not sure. I think it's N2O. So, and yeah. These are personal closets that you can store items in, and it's going to say access denied when I try to open it. So, I take the ID in my hand, and I press the closet. Now I've unlocked it. So that means it's locked to your ID. No one else can open it. Maybe the captain can do it, but no one else. And there's some default gear in here. Radio, headset, and a satchel. And I can put items in there just by having something in my active hand and clicking it. Then I'll put it in. So now we have our old jumpsuit in there. So let's close it and let's lock it. So with the ID in my hand, I press it and it's locked. So now no one can take my jumpsuit if I wanted it back. Now that's something traitors do as well. They hide the items in there, like an eMag, so forth, and they hide it in there after they've used it. So, with that done, there's an art storage in here, cable coil, hand labeler, crayons, camera. Let's take the camera. Cameras are actually pretty fun. So, a camera is a small item, so it can fit in your pocket. So, it fits perfectly. And suit storage. Now, suit storage, I forgot to talk about that. That is the external clothing, like a jacket, a coat, armor, so forth. But since we don't have that, and it's going to be hard to get one, we can't use the suit storage just yet. So, this is the vault where we have the nuclear device that the nuke agents will have to use. I think they have to use it. And the captain can use it to blow up the station if xenomorphs take it over, so forth. It's great to have that. The port emergency storage, can we use it? Yes, we can. With a breath mask, canister of air, replacement lights, fire extinguisher, space heater, and a water tank. Now let's go over masks. Now you have a mask spot. That's where you put gas masks, breath masks, sterile masks, so forth. So, but that's not all. You can't just use the mask. That's not going to help you. So after you put the mask on, you're going to see you have a mask there. You need an oxygen tank, which you'll also have in here, a small emergency oxygen tank that you can fit in your pocket, just like that. But it doesn't have any air, so use it for emergencies, but don't use it to work. You can't use it for space work, that's for sure. It won't last long enough. So, these are normal oxygen tanks. You can put them on your suit storage if you have a hard suit, but not much else. And you can also put it on your back. So just like your backpack, you take the backpack off your back and put the oxygen tank on your back. Now, you're still not going to, it's not going to help you just yet. Now, on the middle right. On the middle right, you'll see internals. Now, press that, and now you'll be using the internals. So now you'll be breathing through the oxygen tank into the mask. You won't be using any air from outside. So if there's toxins or vacuum, anything, use this, internals, and you can breathe. But make sure in the top right here, it's going to say tank pressure. If that gets too low, you're going to run out of air, and you'll die eventually from oxygen deprivation. So keep an eye on that, and don't stay in hostile territory. No, not hostile territory, sorry. Don't stay without oxygen for too long. So don't stay outside doing space work for... You can't be there forever. Now, since we've been in here for a long time, they might think I'm a changeling, because that's where changelings go to kill. And actually, I shouldn't mention changelings just yet, but right. This is the auxiliary tool storage. This is where the engineers can go for some spare tools. Water tank, fuel tank, multi-tool, so forth. You could also break the window and get in, but that's not really allowed, unless you're on an tag. You'll still be arrested, but it's not griefing. So here's a gateway access. And there's some radios, so forth. And you can use it to teleport to other worlds, if the admins have some. I don't think they do on this server. And I'm just an assistant, so I don't have access. Right. Let's take a breath here. Okay, let's go down here. Now this is the cargo bay. If you need supplies, you can go here, you can order new items. And yeah, you can do a lot in here. Order new items, request items, and there's a ton of items. So you can order a lot of items. So you might notice here, this was OOC. But if you put two of these parentheses, I don't know what it's called in English, sorry. That means that signals you are speaking OOC, but don't overuse it. Don't you overuse it. You might get banned if you do. For OOC and IC. Oh, yeah. OOC out of character, in character. So this is the cargo bay. This is probably the first job I'll go over. The cargo technician, and then the quartermaster. Here's the cargo security office. There's a lot. We'll go over that when we get access. Head of personnel's office. He can upgrade your ID. Hold on. Ah, go away. Yeah. This is the typical griefer. Well, not griefer, but this doesn't. They think they're funny. Oh, maybe here's a griefer. No idea. Who knows? Anyway, head of personnel's office. You can upgrade your IDs or downgrade your IDs. Depends. But anyway, this is where the promotions and demotions are done. We'll get into that later. We'll probably go sick of any job we have. Here's the entrance to the head of personnel's office. Here's the AI upload and the AI chamber. And yeah, this might be the last place you'll go ever. You might have to explore the entire station a million times before you even go in here, because that's something only the captain and the AI are going to be looking at. Unless you're a traitor, but good luck getting in there, because the AI has control over everything, and there's probably 10 turrets in there, so good luck with that. So moving on, this is the tech storage, where they have some technology, tools, circuit boards, subspace, gear, so forth in here. But we can't get in, so we will wait until we're engineers. Construction area, just an empty area the engineers can do something about. The telecoms, they're really fun to play with. Really fun to play with. Oh, we'll go over that later. There are yeah, you have to play with them with NTSL, but let's get back to that. Engineering, this is where the engineers are, like atmospheric technicians up here. That's where they go, that's where they work about atmospherics, make sure there's no toxins in the air. They do everything about the air you breathe. And this is engineering, the engine room, where they have all the tools and the singularity engine, all that. And that's the chief engineer's office. The chief engineer, and the chief engineer is the chief of the engineers. No shit. But anyway, that's the head of the engineers. He gives the orders. He's the one that chats with the captain, so forth. Custodial closet, that's where the janitor is. He has a lot of tools. Janitor is the one that no one likes. Everyone kills him because the floor is going to be wet and people are going to start slipping. Then they'll hunt the janitor down and they'll brutally grieve him by killing him. And this is the teleport access. With the teleporter, you can teleport to the derelict, around the station. You can deep space, a lot of things. Moving on, let's go to the right here. This is the Maltese Falcon, the diner. You can order drinks from the bartender. Drinks and food. So he's going to make drinks in here. There's a few other tools in there, shotgun, so forth. He's going to make you drinks. And you can order food from him. And he'll tell the chefs in here, in the kitchen, to make the food. They'll give it to him, and he'll give it to you. That's a random kitchen knife. And here's the kitchen, where the chef makes all the food. I've never been to Jeff before. Maybe I should do that soon. Here's the med bay. It's completely destroyed for some reason. But anyway, this is the med bay. This is where they bring you if you get damaged. If you die, they bring you here. If you get hurt, you go here. So forth. If you go into a critical state, they'll take you here. So yeah. You really want to be here. If this gets destroyed, good luck. So security checkpoints. This is chemistry, and then further down we have the cryo cells. That's where they put you if you're in a critical state. The sleepers, where they can heal about anything. There's some Nanomed Plus. Further down there's a medical storage, and there's a surgery room. And all the way over there, over to the right, further to the right here, there's genetics. And below that there's the Chief Medical Officer's office, and even further down there's virology. Virology is, I don't know, it's boring, I guess. Here is botany. This is where they make plants, hydroponics for that case. And yeah, you want this to stay up. They get you food. Without food, you starve. If you starve, you die. So keep botany going. The chef can't make food without them. Here's the mech bay, where they make cyborgs and other robots. They even make mechs for you that you can just go around, drive around, use them for various things. Research division. Now they have closed the shutters. Bastards, we can't look in. But that's where they research about everything. If there's something you can't find on the station, otherwhere on the station, you find it in there. They make everything. So it's a library where you can get books, and the librarian can make newspapers, so forth. Just books. If you're the librarian, you have the most boring job ever. It's in a system with more access, basically. The chapel, oh, look at that dead body. Okay, let's not get sidetracked. This is where the chaplain is. He chooses the name of the god and the name of the religion, and then he just makes up all the gibberish he can make up within 10 minutes. And he's just gonna... The chaplain is the one that just goes around and says random gibberish and use crayons to write the name of the god, so forth. He's just... I know it's an interesting job, that's for sure. Here's the escape. I don't know, I think it's just called escape. This is where the escape shuttle arrives. So you go here, and then out there's going to be the escape shuttle later on. If we get an emergency, which we do, and we'll have to go. So moving on, back here. This is the bridge. This is where they control everything. This is about every console in the game is here. So that's where all the heads are. Well, they shouldn't be there, because if they're here, that means they're not with their departments and not doing their job. But they are here if they have to do something. This is the conference room, where the captain just can call in a meeting. And over here, down here, behind this wall, there's the captain's quarters, where the captain has his spare ID, the nuclear authentication codes, so forth. We'll get into that later as well. Up here, there's the dorms. Someone blocked that off. And, well, there's the dorms. Here's the restrooms. There's a few toilets, and a cyborg recharging station. There's a camera here, so you can't just do anything because the AI has cameras and will be watching. Mirror, so you can change your hairstyles. The showers, you can take a shower, activate it by clicking on it, and you can take a shower. Can you do this as well? No, you can't. So, here are the dorms. I shouldn't be doing this because that is probably a... yeah, I think that's a cult wall, and that means the cult is in here. And, well, you don't want to mess with the cult. But, anyway. These are the dormitories. Those walls shouldn't be there. But there's a bed and a private closet, and there's a bolt control. So you can bolt the doors and no one will get inside unless the AI or unlocks it or an engineer hacks it. Here's an example of the dorms. These are a bit special. This is a cabin. A bit special, but it gives you the general idea. A personal closet, bed, and a table. Here's a large table. We'll have a balaclava, space coins, and a personal AI. Oh, the emergency shuttle. So this is another cabin. Here's the fitness room. Boxing gloves, boxing shorts, masks, wrestling masks probably. Here's something a bit fun. Laser tag. So you can just go around and be the boss that everyone hates on the station. Another team, so you can have a match with someone. Here's the holodeck. You can go here on this controller and you can make a lot of things here. Basketball, boxing courts. Oh, shit. Yeah, let's not be here. I'm not sure if you noticed. I can probably put a replay on that. On the top part, there was a construct. Those are the monsters the cultists create, and they go around and do things for them: kill people, capture people, so forth. Now this is the EVA, emergency storage. There's spacesuits, a rapid construction device, jetpacks, a few extra materials, check boots. There's a ton of items in there. Security EVA with the security hard suits and some radios in case the telecoms go down. There's some mag boots, as I said. So if those get broken into, the antags are really having the upper hand. Law office for the lawyers. So if they suspect you're an antag and they want to give you a death punishment, they have to have a trial, and then you get a lawyer that defends you. But most of the lawyers are horrible, like myself, so you're gonna get sentenced to death anyway. This is the detective's office. The detective is the one that goes around, investigates crimes, smokes cigarettes, and just never does his job. He just smokes cigarettes and goes around. Doesn't do anything he's supposed to do. As you can see, most of his kit is still here. Well, we might not have one, but most of them just don't do their job. So what he's supposed to do is to find crime scenes, scan for fingerprints, do interrogations, so forth. Over here, this is the courtroom, where courts are going to be held. So, prosecution, defense, what's it called? Defendant, I guess. The judges, and the bailiff. And that's probably the... oh, it's the courtroom locker. I thought it was an evidence closet, but probably not. This is the bridge. I think it's brig. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is where the security team is. So they go in. They have their own door into the courtroom. A bit up there, that's the security office and the head of security's office. And a bit above me now, that is the warden's office, and above that, the armory, where the guns and the armor is. And interrogation room, and a bit north, there is the evidence closet. Evidence closets. So there's security pods in here. There's also engineering pods, forgot to say that. And there's the normal arrivals escape pods. So I think that's all of the station. I think we've been everywhere. Oh yeah, by the way, the laser tag armor is a external clothing, so it's going to, you can put it on top of the jumpsuit. Oh right, so here are the intents, act intents. So all the way up here on the status, you can see intent, which intent you're having. This is a indicator that just shows you the image of it, icon of it. But this actually tells you which one it is. So this green one, that's help, and you just click it to change it. So you can click it to change it, or you can on this server. I don't think any other servers have this option, but on this server you can press insert as well. If you don't want to, if you can't just move your mouse down there and then back up, you just have to do it quick. You can use insert. So green, that's help. The blue one is disarm, so you can disarm your opponent, or if you're lucky, you push them so they actually fall over as well. So then you'll actually have time to beat them. You can kill them before they get up, knock them unconscious by hitting them in the head, so forth. There's grab. Now I don't really have anyone to do that on, and I don't want to do it on a random person because they'll think I'm a cultist. Yeah, that's the construct shows that it's a cultist round, so they'll think I'm a cultist and they'll kill me. So grab. And then there's the harm intent. So if I click someone, I punch him. I can use my backpack to hit him with a backpack, my PDA, and I can also use an emergency oxygen tank. And that's pretty robust. You might actually kill someone with it. And there's a ton of weapons. Circular saw, that's probably one of the most deadly ones. But you can use anything with your harm intent to kill people. And this is run, walk. So it says which one you're in. If it says walk, that means you're walking. Not press to walk, but it means you are walking right now. So you can press it to switch between walking and running. Now, usually you're just going to be running at all times. But if the floor is wet and you start slipping, you might want to start walking to make sure you don't fall over, and then you're really open for an attack. And you'll lose whatever is in your hand, so anyone can take it and run. Here's your health bar. I've lost some health somehow. I'm not really sure how, but yeah, I've taken some damage. So this is the combat system. Now this is the damage zone where you hit people. So you can hit them in the head. That'll deal more damage and that'll knock them over much easier. Hit them in the eyes. So if you have a screw, it'll usually just hit the head. But if you have a screwdriver, you can actually stab them in the eyes, and then they'll actually go blind. They can't do anything, and it'll really knock them over easily. So it's an easy kill. You can hit them in the chest, which is pretty efficient, but not as much as the head. The arms, which isn't too efficient, and the legs, which is not efficient at all. I don't think they walk slower. I don't think they do. You walk slower if you take damage, but I don't think shooting them in the legs actually does anything. So, combat system. And there's resist here. If someone grabs you or pulls you, you can press resist and they will no longer have you grabbed and you can run. Or if they buckle you to the chair and you're handcuffed, you can press resist and you'll unbuckle. Yeah, it'll take 2 minutes, so good luck. And if you're just handcuffed, you can press resist, and it'll take a half minute, and you'll get unhandcuffed if you stand perfectly still. This drop here, which I've used a lot, so if you have something in your current active hand, in this case the left one, press D, no I mean this here, and it'll drop it. And there's throw. Have something in your active hand, press throw, and press wherever you want to throw it. It'll go there, but you can only throw items so far, like paper won't go far at all. You've probably tried throwing paper before, it won't go far. So that's that. Now you should be pretty much an expert in using this. But you're not. You could go on and stop being an assistant when you are an expert with all of this. But you should get known with the station as well, so know where things are. So if you can, let's go away from that. So if you can go around the station, go everywhere on the station without even looking at a guide, you know you're probably ready to be something else than an assistant. Right, let's just stop that. Let's not read that, I'll read that later. So yeah, there's also some icons in the top right. There's of the game, not in the status bar over here, just in the game, where you can use where it says toxins. That's a red, I think it's red with some dots in it. That means toxins, get out of there or use internals immediately. There's O2 with a sad smiley face, so that means there's no oxygen. And there's one that is KPA, it'll say KPA, pressure, and the higher it is, oh wait, what's this? Whew. So I just removed the timer. I didn't have actually in time to comment that, because that was really an emergency. Really an emergency. What just happened? I think the game crashed. But anyway. Oh. Nice. So, suicide. Since we're probably going to die anyway, I'm just going to die. Here's O2. KPA, that's pressure, O2, and fire. No. It's not fire, it's actually just because I'm cold, I'm in space, so it's cold out here. So I need a space suit, or I need a hard suit. So, I'm in a critical state, that means I'm slowly dying. Unless you get me in a cryo cell, but that's not going to happen. There's body temperature, I'm cold. You can also get too hot. I don't think it'll kill you, but I don't know. And there's nutrition, I am hungry. I'm just going to... Okay, I'm dead, so now I can actually show you more of the station where I don't have access. So, this is the mech bay. This is the research division. Server room for PDAs. No, that's robotics. PD server. Toxins storage. Here's the toxins mixing where they made the bomb that just killed me. Xenobiology. That's research on the slimes. And here's the research and development. And this is the research director. Genetics. Just follow my ghost to the middle of the screen, you'll know where I am. This is genetics in here. Chief Medical Officer. Patient rooms. Virology. More of the genetics, but this is where they clone you to bring you back to life. Cryocells, medical storage, surgery. Surgery is complicated. Really complicated. Maybe I'll get a volunteer to do surgery sometime. Chemistry, medbay, whole morgue where they put dead people they can't clone. Another explosion, apparently. Ah, Captain's quarters. Here's the AI core and the AI upload. The Captain's quarters. He just hid the ID in there, didn't he? That's stupid. Teleporter room. Head of personnel. Bridge. Here's the gateway. We can't use it. No, we're ghosts, so we can't use it. Here is the EVA, emergency storage. The brig. Interrogation room. The typical interrogation room. Desk lamp in your face. So forth. The emergency evidence closet, Boylan's office, the armory, where you can see there's energy guns, laser guns, bulletproof vests, there's barriers, portable flashers, bomb suits, biohazard suits, gas masks, riot shields, riot suits, pepper spray. There's everything in here, even 2 charges if you can go out of ammo. The head of security's office with a charger and some gear in the closet there. And some computers. He also has the controls to block down the bridge and the prison wing. And here's that one left. Oh, we're out of time. This is the courtroom. And I think I've shown you the entire station now, so I guess that is it. Cargo bay. So I'm just gonna go around in the station until it finishes and the game is over. So now I restart the game and I'm gonna join a new round, but I don't know if I'll do that today. I don't think I will. I think I'll go do something else actually. It is not against the law to practice religion of any kind. Any persecution of religious practices will be dealt with harshly upon your arrival at CENTCOM. All religious practices, however, are still bound by space law and have to follow it. If a member of religion goes against space law, you may pursue legal action. If they do not, you are expected to let them practice what they believe in. Have a nice day. That's the admins. Probably someone metagaming just to kill them because they're cultists. So, since the round's over, I'll go over the rules. So, the first rule is, you can't, first thing I'm going to say is IC and OOC. OOC, that's where you can say anything. Why were you banned? This is quiet. No IC and OOC. Okay, forget that. You just talk about anything. This is just like a normal chat room, but you can't use any curse words, bigotry, racism, so forth. So this is just a chat room. And there's IC, which is you have to chat in OOC, type OOC, and your message. But we can't use it because the server is restarting. You can type say, and then you're going to talk IC. So you can just say hello, and then how are you? And if you're a geneticist, you'll say hi or low. I'll tell you about that later. So, and since we're dead, we can use say, and that's actually both IC and OOC. You can say, oh my god, the captain killed me. So yeah, now all the dead people will know that, but they can't, it's not metagaming because they're dead, so they can't do anything. And if they get cloned, they can't use the information they get here, because that would be metagaming. Or power gaming, I'm not sure. But either one of those. So, and also, if you get clones and the captain kills you, you can't say like, the captain is a traitor, he killed me. That's metagaming, because there's some memory disorder when you get cloned, so you don't remember what happened at your death. But if he tried to kill you and go into critical, and you get put in a cryo cell, you remember everything, so you can just say the captain tried to kill me, so forth. But if you get cloned, you don't remember, because you're dead and you don't remember anything from your death. So, moving on. There's metagaming, which I've just gone over a bit. That means metagaming is you use OOC knowledge, IT. So if you were a botanist and you just suddenly know how to hack doors, you know how to hack the vendors, you know how the APCs work, you know how to deconstruct an APC, you just know how a hacked APC looks. That's metagaming, because obviously a botanist wouldn't know that. That's the engineer's job. So if you see a hacked APC, you'll know it's a hacked APC, but your in-game character won't know that. So you're going to call engineers to have a look at it. You're not just going to say, oh my god, it's a hacked APC, malfunctional AI. The engineers will take a look at it, and they're going to say, yes, this is strange, we'll look into it, and they'll try to find out what's going on. If the AI is malfunctional, you'll find out soon enough. So, moving on. There's power gaming, which is you play to win. Such as, at the second the game starts, you're the warden, you run in, you take all the laser guns, and you keep them on you, just in case someone attacks, you can shoot them. That's power gaming, because you play to win. You'll have to keep them in there until it's code red or someone attacks, then you can go in, get them, and you can start fighting back. That's power gaming, you play to win, do everything you can to win. You might get banned for it. There's bigotry, so you can't. There's bigotry, racism, cursing, so forth. You can't just go around and swear, use bigotry, racism. You're going to get perma-banned, and you can't appeal for it. Because that's a power 2 rule. You can't appeal for it. You can post a ban appeal, but it won't get accepted, most likely. Probably there's a 1 to 1 million chance that it'll be accepted. So, there's IC in OOC. That means if you get killed by the captain, you type in OOC, because everyone can see it, even the alive people. So OOC, oh my god, the captain killed me. It's a traitor round. That means everyone can see it, even the alive people. You'll get banned for a day, probably. And if you've done it before, 3 days, week, permaban, so forth. It'll just keep going up. So don't do that. And you can't do OOC in IC. So like, hey, would you like to play Skyrim after this? Round. That's OOC in IC. You can also get banned for that. Or muted, I'm not really sure. But it's going to be a short ban, day ban, 2-day ban. You can appeal for that, anyway. But that doesn't mean you can do it. Don't do it. You don't want to get banned too much. Because they'll get sick of you and permaban you, eventually. There's also... Let's see... Actually, why don't we just do this? You should really read the rules in here. You can't really trust everything I say because I might be wrong on something. So you should always read these rules anyway. So am I skipping something? I don't think I am. But those are the essential rules you really want to pay attention to. So, yes, griefing. That's the rule everyone breaks. Griefing is, you go around, you destroy the station, you blow bombs, you kill people, you beat people to crits. That's griefing. You can't just go around and ruin everyone else's day, just for your own amusement. That's griefing. So that includes, you blow up the station, that's going to destroy something important, and the station will be destroyed. You either have to call the shuttle, the round is over. That's griefing, so you will get permabanned for it. If you go around and kill someone, the round is over for them. Maybe even for 2 hours. So that's griefing, because you ruin the round for them. If you beat someone to crit, it might be considered griefing, because they're half dead. Some admins say it's griefing and ban you, and some don't. Stealing from someone without being an ant-tag, stealing something important like an ID, is griefing, because then they won't have an ID and they can't do anything at all. Yeah, those are the essentials of griefing. So you don't want to do those, and there's a lot more. You can look at the rules, you can look at the wiki, and yeah, all that. And there's also NetSpeak. You can't use NetSpeak in IC. So like, say OMG, use smileys, all of that, you will get banned for it. Maybe for a day, but you have to do it a lot. But you might get a warning or two first, but then you'll get banned, so you don't want to do that either. Because the ban is just going to increase, and if you get banned for something else, they're going to look, oh, if you get caught doing something else that's not allowed, they'll look at the logs, they'll see you've been banned before, so they might give you a longer ban. So, with all that said, it's probably time to end this episode. So I would recommend you play as an assistant for maybe a round or two, maybe 3, get known with the mechanics of the game, and then you are ready to go on to the next job, and that could be anything. I would recommend you are a cargo technician next, because cargo technicians are the easiest role. So, yeah, that's probably all. I'll see you next time. Bye.